Prabhu जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोप जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोप जन वल्लभ गिरिवर Today's lecture will be about Lord Narasimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, and many pastimes that we have never heard of before.
Haribol.
So before we begin, we have Bhakti Naishani here. She is 8 or 9? 8. She has memorized, without anyone telling her, memorized the complete Narasimha Kavach Stotra. So first we'll begin with the recitation of auspicious Narasimha Kavach, and then we'll begin the lecture. Done. Okay, you can sit.
Hare Krishna.
आवाज नहीं है. बोलो.
Hare Krishna.
माना प्रभु.
श्री श्री नरसिंह कवचम की जय. नरसिंह कवचम रक्षे प्रहलादेन उदितं पुरा. सर्वरक्षाकरं पुण्यं सर्वोपद्रवनाशनं. सर्वसम्पत्करं चैव स्वर्गमोक्षप्रदायकं. ज्ञात्वा नरसिंहं देवेशं येन सिंहासनस्थितं. पीडितश्रं दीनैनं शरदिन्दुसमाप्रभं. लक्ष्मालिङ्गितपामाङ्गं विभूतिवेणुपाशितं. चतुर्भुजं कोमलाङ्गं स्वर्णकुण्डलशोभितं. सर्वशोभितोदक्षं रत्नकेरमुद्रितं. तप्तकाञ्चनसङ्काशं पीतनिर्मलवासितं. इन्द्रादिसुरमादिष्टासुरमाणिक्यदीप्तिभिः विरहितापदाद्वन्द्वं शङ्खचक्रादिकीर्तिभिः. गरुत्माता च विनयास्तिमानं मुदान्वितं. स्वहृत्कमलसंवासं कृत्वा तु कवचं पठेत्. नरसिंहो मे पातु लोकरक्षार्थसम्भवः. सर्वतोऽपि सम्भवासां फलं मे रक्षतु भवेत्. नरसिंहो मे पातु सोमसूर्याविलोचनः. स्मृतं मे पातु नरहरिः मुनिवारस्तुतिप्रियः. नासं मे सिंहनाशस्तु मुखां लक्ष्मीमुखाप्रियः. सर्वविघ्नहरितो पातु नरसिंहो नरसिंहं मम. भक्तं पातु हिन्दुवन्द्रं सदा प्रह्लादवन्दितः. नरसिंह पातु मे कण्ठं स्कन्दो मृगनन्दकृत्. दिव्यास्त्रशोभिताभुजां नरसिंह पातु मे भुजम्. करो मे देववरदो नरसिंह पातु सर्वदा. हृदयं योगी साध्यश्च निवासं पातु मे हरि. मध्यं पातु हिरण्याक्षा वक्षपक्षिविदारणा. नाभि मे पातु नरहरि सुराभि ब्रह्मसंस्कृता. ब्रह्माण्डकोटयाकाट्यं यस्य पातु मे कटिं. गुह्यं मे पातु गुह्यानां मन्त्राणां गुह्यरूपपदे. उर्वमनो भव पातु जाह्नवीरूपपदे. जङ्गे पातु धरापारा हृदय सौम्यकेशरी. सुरराजा प्रदापातु पादो मे नगरीश्वराय सहस्रशीर्षा वृषा पातु मे सर्वशस्तनु मनोग्रह पूर्वता पातु महावीराग्रजोगिता महाविष्णु दक्षिणे तु महाद्वारस्तु नैऋता पश्चिमे पातु सर्वेशो दिशि मे सर्वतोमुखा नरसिंह पातु वायव्यां सौम्यं भूषणविग्रहा ईशान्य पातु दक्षिणो मे सर्वमङ्गलदायका संसार भयका पातु मृत्योर्मृत्योर्निकेशरी इदं नरसिंह कवचं प्रहारमुखमण्डितं भक्तिमाय परेणत्यं सर्वपापै प्रमुच्यते पुत्रवान् धनवान् लोके दीर्घायुर्प्रजायते यं यं कामयते कामं तं तं प्राप्नोति संशयम् सर्वत्र जन्माप्नोति सर्वत्र विजयी भवेत् भूम्यन्तरिक्षदिव्यानां ग्रहणं विनिवारणं वृश्चिकोदकसम्भूता विशापाहरणं वरं ब्रह्मराक्षसयक्षाणां दूरसारणकारणं भुजगातारमत्लेवा कवचं लिखितं शुभं कर्मूयदितेन सिद्धेन कर्मसिद्धया देवासुरमनुष्येषु स्वं स्वमेव जयं भवेत् एकसन्ध्यं विसन्ध्यं वा यापठेन्यतो नरः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं मुक्तिं च विन्दति गौत्रिंशति सहस्राणि पठेत् शुद्धात्मनाम्नः कवचस्य मन्त्रस्य मन्त्रसिद्धिः प्रजायते अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा अस्माभिमन्त्रणं तिलकं लिप्यस्तु तस्य ग्रहणं भवेत् त्रिवरं जपमानस्तु दत्तं वायाभिमन्त्र च तस्यानेनोदमन्त्रं नरसिंहध्यानमाचरे तस्य रोगाः नश्यन्ति यच्चासि कुक्षितमनोभाव किमद्भुतेन नरसिंहसदृशो भवेत् मनसा चिन्तितं हेतु सतचाप्नोति संशयं गर्जन्तं गात्रयन्तं निजभुजपटलं स्फोट्यन्तं मदन्तं दीप्यन्तं तापयन्तं विभूतिजं क्षेपयन्तं शिवन्तं क्रन्दन्तं घोषयन्तं दिशिदिशतं संहरन्तं परन्तं इष्यन्तं पूरयन्तं करनिकषतैर्दिव्यसिंहं नमामि इति श्रीब्रह्माण्डपुराणेनोक्तं श्रीरसिंहकोशं सम्पूर्णम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ashani. Hari Bol. So our Guru Maharaj, he used to recite this Nasim Kavach. So Nasim Kavach is like a shield. When someone recites, if someone is in trouble, like we all know there is a war situation going on around the world, and there have been so many terrorist attacks in India and probably in different regions of the world. So this is for all the soldiers out there who are putting out their lives, so people like us can sit peacefully and quietly. So this is like a shield we are reciting on their behalf. So again, I welcome all of you. Who here has come for the first time? You are ready? Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. So welcome again. Today, for the last 3 Sundays, we are discussing Narasimha Katha. Recently, we had this Narsingh Chaturdashi on last weekend. So we'll continue and we'll hear the unheard pastimes or the mysteries and the true stories from Kali about Lord Narasimha Dev. But before we do that, who here knows about Narasimha Leela? Please, or sorry, who doesn't know about Narasimha Leela? Anyone who has never heard of who Lord Narasimha Dev is, who Prahlad Maharaj is? You don't know? Good. Okay, 2, 3 hands. Perfect. Because this sets the tone of the lecture. So before we begin, just short Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Chatarine Nirviteshe Shunyavadi Pashtrapadeshakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so for the people who don't know the story, I'll just give a snapshot and then we'll dive into the lecture. 5,000 years back, there was a yajna called Rajasuya Yajna. Okay? In that, everyone wanted Lord Krishna to be the person, the main person of that yajna. But there was one person who didn't want that, and he was Shishupal. Shishupal did not want Krishna to be given any honor because he was completely envious of Krishna. Shishupal goes on cursing Krishna, and there was a boon given to him that Krishna will spare him 199 times. If he starts blaspheming Krishna or yelling or cursing Krishna, then he will kill him. So he just crosses that mark of 100 and he was killed by Krishna. As he is killed, everyone sees that Shishupal, he merges inside the body of Krishna, meaning he gets liberation. Now this was very wonderful. Like, you kill your enemy or you beat your enemy and you take them to the hospital for getting, aid. So this was very wonderful to everyone because he was very harsh on Lord Krishna and still Lord Krishna gave him liberation. So this is the starting point. The question arises then. So Yudhishthir Maharaj, he is asking. Yudhishthir Maharaj is one of the 5 Pandavas. He is asking to Narad Muni. He says that, how is it? Until now we knew that Lord Krishna is partial to the Devatas. But Shishupal being a demon, he gets merged, he gets liberation. So please explain this concept to me. And then Narad Muni, he starts reciting this whole pastime that we are going to understand. Now the best part of this is that we all know the hero of the story is Prahlad Maharaj of this Narasimha Leela. It's Narasimha Dev, it's Prahlad Maharaj, and of course it's Hiranyakashipu, because if there was no Hiranyakashipu, there wouldn't be any Narasimha Leela, right? Or it could have been a different Leela. The first starting point all of us need to learn is that the unsung hero of this pastime is Narad Muni. Narad Muni is telling the story where he is not glorified even once. You see, this is how we should be auditing. The center of the story is Lord Narasimha Dev and Prahlad Maharaj. If I am reciting story, I would be the center of attention. By the end of the lecture, you should have known my name, you should have known all my glories. So this is how most of us work. When we tell something, it's all about me. But Narad Muni is telling a story and he is the main character because he is the guru of Prahlad Maharaj. The bhakti that Prahlad Maharaj got, will come to that, is all because of Narad Muni. But still, no one associates Narad Muni with Narasimha Leela. So you see, this is how everyone should be glorifying Lord. And this is the trait of a true guru. Sakshat Haritvena Samastra Shastra. Every Shastra says that my Guru is God, or Guru Tattva is Narayan Tattva, God. But still the Guru never claims they are Guru. So now this is how we know this was a Pramanic Guru, Narad Muni. So the story begins, Narad Muni starts telling the story. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrit, there is a Granth, it is written by Shripad Sanatan Goswami. Okay? Sanatan Goswami. So, Narad Muni is looking out for the best devotee of the Lord, best devotee. So he's told that there is a king in the southern part of India. So he goes and says, you are the best devotee. He says, no way, I am not the best devotee. It's Lord Indra, go to heaven. He goes to Lord Heaven. Indra says, don't joke, I am not the best devotee, go to Lord Brahma. He goes to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma says, no way, I am not the best. You go to Lord Shiva. He goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, if I was the best devotee, why did Lord give me poison to drink? So I am not the best devotee. You go to Prahlad Maharaj. So then he goes to Prahlad Maharaj. Now Prahlad Maharaj, he goes to Prahlad Maharaj and starts glorifying Prahlad Maharaj, saying that, oh, you are the best devotee, Prahlad. Because of you, Lord Narasimha has to appear. He said, no, that's not true. It's not because of me. There are several reasons. Now this is again the humility. We all know Narasimha Dev appeared for Prahlad Maharaj. I'll tell you the story in some time. But still, Prahlad Maharaj out of humility says, no, it's not the correct statement. Narasimha Dev came for many reasons. Now one of the reasons was there are 4 Kumar. There are the firstborn of Lord Brahma. Who are they? What is the name of 4 Kumar? Yes, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanak and Sanandan. Remember these names because this is our real history. Mughals and all those are not our real history. We have to understand this, right? So the 4 Kumaras, once They are living in our world where we live today. There are 14 planets over here. We are on the Bhu. We sing Om Bhu Bhuva Swa Gayatri, if you know, right? So Bhu, Bhuva and Swa. Swa means Swargalok. So in the topmost planets, the topmost person is our engineer who has created everything. That is Lord Brahma. He lives in a planet called Brahmalok. Like we are made of the 5 elements: earth, air, water, fire, ether. We have blood and mucus inside our body. But Lord Brahma, who has created all of us, he is made of complete intelligence. How do we understand this? Let's say I make chapati or roti and I give it the shape of a human being. You know? So what is the roti or chapati or the bread made of? Wheat. Atta. So similarly, Lord Brahma looks like us with 4 heads, but he is made of complete intelligence. The ingredients inside him is not blood, mucus, earth, air, water, fire, ether. So that is the mystical prowess of Lord Brahma. So he lives in the topmost planet. We can still see him. The planet after that is called Tapalok. Tapa means where you do all the tapasyas. So this Chatushkumar, the firstborn of Lord Brahma, they used to reside in the Tapalok. Once they wanted to meet Lord Narayan. So they go out to meet Lord Narayan. As they are going, so now we are speaking about going to a different dimension now. We are in one dimension, okay? This is our material world. They, because of their Ashtasiddhi, they could cross from this place and go to a different world. There was a saint in Vrindavan, and once he was sleeping in the Brahmur around 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. So there was a new devotee who tried to wake him up. So the other Babaji said, don't do this. This is a mistake. He appears to be sleeping, but he is not sleeping. So once he woke up, so this new devotee, new person asked him that, what were you doing? So he said, actually, I was in Ayodhya, and in Saryu river, there was a flood that was coming, and there was this small child who had gone with his grandfather or grandmother for swimming, and they were about to drown, and I was saving them. So this new person could not believe, you are sleeping in Vrindavan, and you say that you are saving someone else in a different city. Like I am in Dublin and I will tell you I was in Cork at this time. Is it possible? No. So this new person did not believe that. But after few days in the news it came that there was a flood and there was a saint who saved one boy from drowning. So these are called siddhis, that the people who are in complete meditative state, who have crossed beyond this gross material body, they can travel. It's anima, laghima, like Lord Hanuman. When he jumped to go to Sri Lanka, he took the size of a mosquito, a small size, and then he could expand himself as well, right? These are all science actually. If you go deep down into it, you will believe that soon enough. So the Chatush Kumar, they set out on the journey to meet Lord Narayan. Now there are 7 gates that you have to cross in order to reach Lord Narayan. They crossed the first 6, but in the final one, the guards, there were 2 guards by the name Jay and Vijay. They stopped because these are 5-year-old. These are the firstborn, like their age would be in trillions, if not billions. But they always appear as 5-year-olds, small and naked, because they are completely transcendental. So Jay and Vijay thought that, what nonsense. You are not even properly clothed and you think you can go inside and meet the master of the universe, Lord Narayan. So they stopped. And then there were some harsh words that were spoken. You know how the guards get lost, get out. So that kind of sentences were spoken. And as it happened, the 4 Kumaras, they cursed, saying that only a demon would stop someone from meeting Lord. So your actions is that of a demon. So we curse you, you go to this Mrityulok where we are now, you go to this material world, either as 7 lifetimes as human beings or 3 lifetimes as demons. So this is the starting of the story. And then what happened, that Lord Narayan, he rushes and then he says, in a taunting or sarcastic way to the Chatush Kumar, that it's not their mistake, it's my mistake. So the mistake of a servant is the mistake of a master, right? Now, these things actually is something that we don't believe, that someone going to a different planet and meeting God. So there was one person in Maharashtra, in Pandharpur, almost 80 years old. And since their childhood, when they were 7, 8 years old, they were going to Pandharpur, the temple, Vitthal, going to take their darshan. So there was one atheist. He goes to him and says, "My dear friend, how long have you been visiting this temple?" He says, "Almost 70 years now." "And have you seen," so he asked, the reporter asked, the atheist asked, "Have you seen God?" So he says, "No, I haven't seen God." "So so have you wasted your 70 years? Why do you go to temple if you don't see God, if you don't meet God?" So he says, "My dear friend, let me ask you one thing." He says, "Yeah, ask." He says that, let's say in a house there is a dog and a thief comes inside the house for stealing. Now if the dog gets to know that there is a thief, the dog will start barking, isn't it? Now when one dog starts barking, all the dog of the society will start barking. Is that right? Everyone starts barking. Now the other dogs have not seen the thief, have they? No. But they are sure that if one dog is barking, he must have seen the thief. So he said, "I am like that dog. I might not have seen God, but I know people like my guru who has seen God. And on their faith, I am barking today." You see? So there are many personalities like our Prabhupada, the founder Acharya. He is in direct contact with God. And we are speaking on his behalf. He is our strength actually. So that is why we believe Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Right? So moving on with the story. Lord Narayan comes and then Lord Narayan says that, "Okay, this is my mistake." And then what do you choose? So they say, "We cannot be 7 lifetimes away from you, my Lord. 3 life as demon is fine." So Krishna or Lord Narayan is so merciful. He says, if you take ye yatham mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. He says in Bhagavad Gita, you take one step, I will take one step. Right? So someone asked Lord Krishna, they complained that, "My Lord, how is this fair? You say I will take one step, you will take one step, it will take me lifetimes to reach you." So Krishna says, if you want to know about my step, you ask Bali. Bali will tell you what is the length of my step. So you take first step, don't worry about the rest. I will cover the world for you. So Narayan said, if you take 3 life as demon, I will come 4 times to save you. So they came 3 times. The first life was Hiranyakashipu, whose story we'll take today, and Hiranyaksh. Second birth was Ravan and Kumbhakaran. And the third was Shishupal and Dantavakra. Okay? And Lord came 4 times to take them back. Varaha, Narasimhadev, Lord Ram and Lord Krishna. 4 times. So you see, Krishna goes out of the way. You take 3 births, I'll take 4 births to take you back to me. Right? This is the magnanimity of our Lord Krishna. So then the story goes, they take birth as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Now, the terrorist might feel that they are terrorists, but these were the real terrorists. Now we are speaking about Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh. They had flipped the world upside down. The thing that we should learn from Hiranyakashipu is his dedication. On one leg, he stood for 36,000 years with his hands up in meditation to get all the siddhis we just spoke about. He wanted to become immortal. For that, he did this level of tapasya. Now, our tapasya is not as great as his. So, something if we have to learn from Hiranyakashipu, this should be the determination. His body was eaten by insects, but it didn't matter because I have a goal. And somehow or the other, I have to achieve my goal. So then Hiranyakashipu, he starts doing the meditation. And as a result, he became so powerful that the whole world was upside down. Meaning, if you do anything wrong, you drink liquor, you go to bar and you are always behind bar, you do meat eating, you will go to heaven. And if you do any good things, you will go to hell. This was the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu. Now, it's fascinating, isn't it? Now, the people who are drinking and eating meat and everything, it's heaven for them. Because if you do those things, you go back to heaven. Why? Because he had captured all the Devi Devtas. If he just looked at it like we say, hey Siri, turn off the light, turn on the light. He didn't even have to say that. He just looked at Suryadev. Suryadev would understand, okay, I have to go now. He looked at Indra, okay, I have to reign now. You know? So this was his prowess. This is how dangerous he became. And he was the real terrorist. The terrorists of today, they don't understand what terrorism is actually. Like, after one of the attack, I will tell the real story of Narasimhadev as well. So the Indian army, they wrote, like God is very merciful. So they said that it is the duty of God to forgive the terrorist. But army saying it is our duty to book the terrorist appointment with God. Right? So this is what Prahlad Maharaj did actually. So Lord wanted to forgive the terrorist, but you have to reach till the God to be forgiven. So this is the duty of the army actually, like Prahlad Maharaj, a soldier. So again, you are following the story, the new people. Now what happened was that this Hiranyakashipu became very strong and he wanted to conquer the world. But he does this tapasya for 36,000 years, and who appears? The engineer. Who is that? Lord Brahma. He appears and he says to Lord Brahma, I want to become immortal. Lord Brahma says, I myself am not immortal. How am I going to make you immortal? Right? So now he is very sharp-minded, intelligent. Hiranyakashipu. He starts all the permutation and combination to become immortal. Now you can tell me few of the things he asked. What did he ask? Do you know? I don't want to be killed by weapons.
And he said that I don't want to be killed in land or in sea.
I don't want to be killed on land, in sea. I don't want to kill in day, in night. I want to be killed by a human, an animal. I don't want to be killed by any weapon. Now he thought that he had outsmarted God. He took probably calculus integration. He did all the mathematics. And he came up with this if, else, then loop, saying that, okay, fine. Now I am safe. No one in these three worlds can kill me. So, now remember going back that Narad Muni is asking Prahlad Maharaj that you are the best devotee. Prahlad says no. So Prahlad says the reason Narasimhadev came was first because Lord Brahma had given certain boons to Hiranyakashipu. So God had to honor Lord Brahma. A. Second, Narasimha Chaturdashi is the real independence day of all the Devatas. That is the day the Devatas became independent. Like India got its independence, Ireland got its independence, America got. So the independence day of the Devatas is Narasimha Chaturdashi. How much they wanted Narasimha Chaturdashi to come, they only know. Like we just come, we do fasting, we sing some kirtan, some lectures, but they were dying for Lord Narasimha to come because that is the day they are going to be liberated by Hiranyakashipu. So after that what happens is that Prahlad Maharaj is born. It's a long story, I will cut short. Hiranyakashipu, he got a child by the name Prahlad. I'll come to the name why it's called Prahlad. The name Hiranyakashipu means, Hiranya means gold. Yeah. So Hiranyakashipu is someone who is very much attached to gold. Now these six, Jai and Vijay took 6 lives, isn't it? 3 lives, but they came in pair. Kumbhakaran, Ravan, Shishupal, Dantavakra, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. We have 6 anarthas and they 6 represent all the anarthas. Now let's do the matching. I will take one anartha and you guess. So, Kam. Kam means lust. Who do you think out of this 6 fits Kam? Ravan. He was out lusty for all the women. Krodh. Anger. Who do you think fits anger? No. No. Keep going, it's only 6. You will get there. No. There is only 6. No. Dantavakra. He was always angry. Kam, Krodh, Lobh. Lobh means greed. Who was greedy? Hiranyakashipu. No, it was not Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksh. Then illusion. Who was always in illusion? Sleeping, always sleeping. Kumkarna. Then who was Ahankari? Mad. Hiranyakashipu. He was in too much ego. And last is Matsar, envy, Shishupal. He was always envious of Krishna. So these six represent the six anarthas actually. Okay? Now, Prahlad Maharaj, a 5-year-old, he was not born as 5-year-old, he was born. Once he reaches the age of 5, now you have to send your kids to the school. So Hiranyakashipu, he started the best school for terrorists. He was a terrorist, right? So he started a school and he wanted his son to become the best terrorist of the world. So he sends Prahlad Maharaj. This is something we need to learn from Prahlad Maharaj now. Prahlad Maharaj goes and he has already taken all the Siksha inside the womb of his mother Kayadu by Narad Muni. When Hiranyakashipu, his father, called him to ask that, hey, what did you learn in school today? Now all he needed to say was what Hiranyakashipu wanted to hear. This is what most of us do. We want to please people. So we would say that, okay, fine, I will say goody words to someone and that I have my own beliefs, but just for their sake I will say something. But no, this is something we have to learn from Prahlad Maharaj, of course, and Prabhupada, that we have to stand by our principles no matter what. He's talking to the most dangerous person in the entire creation. He lifts his eyebrow, his father Hiranyakashipu, he lifts his eyebrow and all the greatest of the greatest warriors start shaking. That was the power. But still, Prahlad was not at all in any fear. He was asked, what is the truth? And he says, the truth is Krishna, Lord Vishnu. He is the supreme. I get my power from him. You get your power from him. You should all become devotees of Lord Vishnu. Now this person, Hiranyakashipu, there is a backstory. He was completely envious of Lord Vishnu because Lord Vishnu had killed his twin brother Hiranyaksh. He had slapped him once and he died. And he had a kundal. What is kundal? Earring. That earring fell. When Ravan was in the hunt looking to gather his army to kill Lord Ram, so once he goes to Bali Maharaj, who is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj tells him, oh, you want to kill Lord Ram? He says, yes, come, let me show you something. So he takes him to a place and he says, you see that gold, try to lift that. So Ravan, who assumed that he is very powerful, and he was very powerful, he tried his 10 hands, 20 hands, he has 10 heads, 20 hands. With all his power, he tried to move that golden mountain and he could not even, hila bhi nahi sake, like move it, like even a little bit, even an inch, he could not do that. Bali Maharaj laughed. He said, do you know what is that? He said, that is the earring of Hiranyaksh, who was killed by one slap by Varahadev. And that Varahadev has come now with full potency as Lord Ramchandra. You really think you stand a chance in front of Lord Ram? But someone who is lusty, someone who is ignorant, arrogant, they don't care. He still wanted to fight Lord Ramchandra, right? So yeah, Hiranyaksh was killed by Lord Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu, our villain, he wanted to avenge the death of his brother. But his own son, everyone in the world obeys or obeyed Hiranyakashipu, but his own son, he did not obey his own father. Now you can understand the rage of a parent, right? So that was the rage of Mr. Hiranyakashipu. And after that he becomes so angry that he wanted his son to be killed. Okay? And finally, Lord Narasimhadev, he appeared out of the pillar and he killed Hiranyakashipu. So this is the pastime of Hiranyakashipu, Narasimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. Now, in the starting we sang an Aarti that is called Narasimha Aarti. So we'll just touch base small about the meaning of that Aarti, that the next time we sing, we understand the mood, we understand the meaning, and some true stories from material world, like in Kali, that has happened with our devotees living in ISKCON, so that we'll have more faith in Narasimhadev. So we'll sing and then we'll then just 2 lines and then we'll try to tell about that. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pranadhana Dayani. Namaste Narasimhaya. This has been taken from Narasimha Puran. Okay, there are 18 Puranas. From that, one of the Puranas, Narasimha Puran. Namaste. Namah means to bow down, to lower our ego. Na means no. Ma means me. There is nothing called me. Like I don't exist. I am very, very small. I am nothing. So that is the meaning of when we do Namaste. So I am actually saying that I am insignificant, I am your servant. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Daine. Okay? Narasimhaya. Now Narasimhadev actually, it's not that Narasimhadev only comes at a certain time. Yes. As per Laghu Bhagavatamrit, it is said that when there is a Yuga Sandhya, when the time changes from Satyug to Treta Yuga, in that Sandhya, in the evening, Narasimhadev appears. But then it's not only that. There have been many instances in Kali Yuga, there have been many instances in different yugas as well, where Lord Narasimhadev has appeared. For instance, once what happened was, Ravan, he mistreated a woman and he got her pregnant. And similarly, the woman, her name was Malati, and she wanted to take shelter of the Vahan or the vehicle of Lord Ganesh. His name is Indura. He's a mouse, right? And Indura also begot a child with the same lady, Malati. Now, because Ravan had already impregnated her, the child that came out was a demon. But that demon was in the shape of a mouse. Okay? And this demon mouse, he was called Daitya, Mushak Daitya. And like his father, Ravan, he also wanted to do tapasya and wanted to become immortal. Now he also invoked Lord Brahma. And he said that make me immortal. Brahmaji said not again. Everyone wants to become immortal. He said, I cannot give you that boon, ask for something else. Now this person, Mushak Daitya, thought that Narasimhadev only comes at the end of some era called Satyug. Now we are past that era, so now until billions of years he cannot come now. So then he said, give me a boon that I will only be killed by Narasimhadev. And Brahmaji said, Tathastu, so be it. And at that time, Ram Leela was going on. Lord Ram was there. And he started creating havoc because he knows Narasimhadev is not going to appear. Prahlad Maharaj is gone. So I will do as I please. Now that Mushak, there was this whole chaos in the society. And Lord Ram was during exile at that point. So the rishis, they reach out to Lord Ram saying that, my Lord, this is the problem. So out of the box, Lord Ram, he took a very fantastic form called Bidal Narasimhadev. Bidal means cat, because cat catches mouse. And he had to catch a mouse. So the first half of his body was that of a cat, and the second half of his body was that of a lion. And then he started rushing after the Mushak Daitya. So Narasimhadev can appear from pillar, Narasimhadev can appear in Satyug, in Treta, Kaliyug and Dwapar Yug, anywhere, everywhere. Ito Narasimha, Parato Narasimha, Yato Yami, Tato Narasimha. Wherever you see, there is Lord Narasimhadev. So that is the glories. Prahlad, Halad, Daine. What is Halad? Haladini Shakti, Radharani. She is the Haladini Shakti. Haladini means complete bliss. Someone who gives happiness to Lord Krishna, bliss to Lord Krishna, that is called Haladini Shakti, Radharani. The meaning of Prahalad is one who is in complete bliss but with Lord. So he is in bliss, but he is never in bliss independently. He is always in bliss in unison with Lord Narayan. So that is the meaning of the word Prahalad. So Namaste Narsimhaya Prahalad Halad Daine. Daine means to give. So he is giving pleasure or happiness to Prahalad Maharaj, who is giving Narsimhadev. To Prahalad Maharaj, who is always already in happiness. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Shilatanka Nakhalay. And Hiranyakashipur Vaksha meaning that the demon Hiranyakashipu, he did the first open heart surgery without anesthesia. So I did not tell you the complete part, how he killed. You see that photo over there? Can you see that? That is the photo. So he took Hiranyakashipu on his lap during Sandhya. Sandhya means evening, twilight, when there are two lights in the sky. And he appeared as half human, half animal, half lion. Because remember how Hiranyakashipu had taken this boon, I cannot be killed by a man, by an animal, neither by any weapons, neither in day, neither at night. So he killed him in evening time, neither inside house, neither outside house. So he was killed on the brink, like you see this place, Tathast, it is called margin. Huh?
On the door.
On the door, exactly, yeah. Frame, yeah. And then neither by weapon, so he killed him by his nails. So this is how he killed. He appeared around noonish time, and then there was a big fight that happened. Because Lord wanted to fight actually. He was bored in his house. And there was no one he could fight with. Because if you had to fight with a mosquito, what is the fun, right? But if you fight with someone who can at least last for 10-15 minutes, then people will come and take ticket for your show, isn't it? So he wanted to give us this show. Who? Narasimhadev. That is why he chose Hiranyakashipu, and then he manifested around 12 o'clock. And then the fight went on until 5, 6, 7 a.m. in the evening when there was this sunset going on. And this is when he did the surgery. Right? So he was the first doctor as well actually. And then because it was a very ferocious fight and there was no one to garland him, like someone made this garland for me. So there was no one to make garland for Narasimhadev. So what he did, he took out the intestine and he garlanded himself. Because Hiranyakashipu thought he is the Don. But then Lord Narasimhadev told him who is the real Don. So he took and all the blood, then he went on to a place where he washed his hand. That place is called, in Ahobilam is a place in Andhra Pradesh even today. And that place is called Raktakund, where he washed his hand. So Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha, his nails are very, very dangerous actually for the demons, but for the devotees it's very soft. So there is a story in Cape Town, South Africa, few years back. There was a family and there was a small girl, age 5. She did not know much because they were not born in a Hindu family, but they were somehow in contact with ISKCON. So they know about Lord. So for her, he was the lion god. And every day she would keep on playing with her lion god doll and she would just keep chanting this Narasimha. Once she was playing with the ball and her father was sitting on a balcony. And then when she was playing with the ball, she goes and there was a truck that was coming and the truck hit the girl. And the father, he ran from the balcony and she was rushed to the ICU. In the ICU, the reports came and the doctor asked that, no, this is the wrong report. Get me the report of the girl who met with an accident. So the nurses said, no, this is the report of the girl. They said, no, it's not possible. No, this is the report of the girl. And they saw no injury. So they were shocked. And after some time, when they were diagnosing the girl, they saw that there were marks of nails of a tiger on her waist. So they called the father. They said, you did a wrong report actually. You said that this was hit and case run, but actually this looks like an animal attack. He said, no, I was there. I saw there was no animal actually. There was a truck that hit my girl. And they waited for the girl to regain her consciousness. The girl regained her consciousness. And then she was asked, what happened? Was there an animal attack? She said, no, no, no. Lion god came actually. Lion god came. The truck was speeding. He put me, and then he threw me on one side, and then he disappeared. Then the girl says, the hair of lion god was very silky. I liked his hair. But you tell the lion god why he has such long nails. He should cut the nails. If he goes to my school, my teacher is going to yell at lion god. So Sheila Tanka na khalai, he has this razor sharp nails. But for the non-devotees, for the devotees, he is the savior. Like when a cat, she catches a mouse, the mouse would see the teeth as very sharp razor. But she catches her own kitten also with the same teeth. But for it, it's motherly affection. So the same thing has two different forms. So Hiranyakashipur Vaksha Shila Tanka Nakhale Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimha Hridaya Narsimha Narsim Hamadim Sharanam Prapade. So Lord Narsimha Dev is everywhere. There is not a place where there is no God. There was one person, he was very naive, very innocent. He came to this association like this, and all he used to do was just chant. He would not do anything else. So all the other God brothers, they got very envious of him, that why is only chanting all the day? He does not do any other seva. So they complained to the Guru. They said that he does not do anything, no cooking, no grocery shopping, no cleaning the temple, nothing. So the Guru said, oh, is it? So what does he do? He only chants. Oh, is it so? Okay, fine. Let me call everyone. So he called everyone. And then he said, I give you all a task. What is the task? I am all giving you a banana. Okay, a banana each. Now you have to go and eat that banana in a place no one can see you. So people thought, has he gone mad? It's such a simple task. And he says, I give you until evening. So the task was given in the morning. I give you until evening. You have to eat that banana where no one sees you. Okay, fine. Everyone goes. They all come back in 5-10 minutes. Now this new person who was very innocent, he did not come until evening. So after evening, the Guru called, where is that person? So they said he is very guilty and embarrassed. Why? Because he could not eat the banana. How is it so? Everyone ate and he could not eat, so call him. So he was called. So the Guru asked that all of them, where did you eat? Someone said, I went inside the lake and I ate where no one saw me. I closed the doors of my room and I ate. I hid there, I hid here and I ate. So this was all their argument. He asked the new person, why is it that you didn't eat? So he said, my Guru, there was not a single place where I could not see Lord. The Lord was present at every place I could see him. So I could not find a single place where I could eat banana. So the Guru said, you people thought that he is only chanting and he has no bhakti bhav. You see, he is the only one with bhakti bhav here, right? So the point is, Ito Narsimha Parto Narsimha. Lord Narsimha Dev, Lord is present everywhere. There is not a single place where Lord is not present. Okay? I wanted to share something about Prahlad Maharaj as well. Yeah. The past story of Prahlad Maharaj actually. There are very interesting stories of Prahlad Maharaj. The first story I've heard, yet to confirm this, but still, because I've heard from senior devotees, when Sanat Kumar cursed Jai and Vijay that you go and become demons, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, as a result, they also got Vaishnava Aparadh. And the Sanat Kumar had to come down as Prahlad Maharaj. This is one of the backstory of Prahlad Maharaj. Second story is, in his past life, he was a Brahman boy by the name Vishnu Sharma. But Prem Prasang mein pad gaye the wo. He had a girlfriend. And he wanted to meet his girlfriend one day. And what happened is that he could not meet the girlfriend openly. There was no internet at that time. It is like millions of years back. Internet did not exist, so no WhatsApp, no phone, nothing. So how would we meet? So they got to know there is a temple nearby where no one goes. Let's go and meet there. So that was their place of rendezvous. And because he had to impress his girlfriend, so he started cleaning the place. And fortunately, that day was Narsim Chaturdashi, and that was Lord Narsimha's temple. So, unknowingly, to meet his girlfriend, he cleaned Lord Narsimha's temple on Narsim Chaturdashi, and as a result, he became Prahlad Maharaj in his next life. So, a lesson: if you cannot clean every day, at least come to clean on Tithis like Narsim Chaturdashi, Ekadashi, Janmashtami, Radha Ashtami. At least, maybe we will also get chance to become Prahlad Maharaj. So how it goes is that this is not only once that Mahabharata, Ramayana or Narsim Leela has taken place. No, it is circular. It is not linear. It goes on in loop again and again and again and again. And people with certain moods can get the position of Prahlad Maharaj. You can become, actually, you can be put like only on the 27th, in the 27th Dwapar Yug, Lord Krishna, the original Krishna of Golok Dham comes. But in the 28th, 29th, incarnation is gonna come. That is why people say it's incarnation of Vishnu. That is partially true. Because the original Krishna only comes in the 27th. The original Ram only comes in the 24th. Treta Yug of 24th Manvantar. Okay? Sorry, 24th Chatur Yug. There is a whole calculation. But the other avatars of Lord Vishnu come. That is why, widely in India they say that it is the avatar. Lord Krishna is the avatar. That is partially true, but not completely true. Because we have to understand the tattva. Evam tattva vedi, right? So, this is the backstory of Prahlad Maharaj. So, Narsim Hamadim Sharanam Prapade. Narsim Hamadim. In the Adi Roop, Lord Narsimhadev has 8 heads. Shodasha Bahu Narsimha. 8 heads. What are these 8 heads? Head of horse, head of lion, tiger, bear, 2-headed birds, then there is Garudji, there is Hanumanji, and then there is Varahadev. These are the 8. And with these 8, he is Bhakti Vigna Vinayak. These 8 cover almost every aspect that we require to proceed in our bhakti. Like if someone does any black magic or tantra vidya, then he saves us as Varahadev. Okay? If anyone tries to poison us, or if we are like there is no snake in Ireland, but in India there are many snakes actually. So if you are tortured by snakes or anything, then Lord Narsimhadev he actually saves us, right? Lost and found properties, Lord Hanuman's. Once what happened was, in one of the Mela, there was a husband and wife, and the wife got lost. So the husband, maybe he loved the wife. So he started going after the wife to find her. Now there was a Lord Ram's temple, it was completely filled. And opposite to that was Lord Hanuman's temple. No one was going because everyone thought, let's go to Lord Ram's temple. Now the Pujari of Hanuman temple got to know he is looking for his wife. So he started shouting, if you have lost your wife, you come to Hanuman temple. So he heard. He says, okay, fine, come. So the people of Lord Ram temple, they said, why there? Why not here? Here also you can come. So in a very funny way, he said, the Pujari of Hanuman ji said, Kapiraj se preet vineet karo, फिर से मुख देख सखो पत्नी को. Meaning that if you come to Lord Hanuman's temple, there is a possibility you could see the face of your wife. So Lord Ramji's Pujari asked, what about Lord Ram? So he said कि तेरी पत्नी से मिलाए कहाँ जो पता न लगाए सके अपनी को. Meaning he himself could not find his own wife. Lord Hanuman had to find. How is he gonna? So this is not like a disrespect. It is a humor saying that you come to Lord Hanuman's temple rather than going to Lord Ram's temple. And luckily, this is a true story, he got his wife. So Lord Hanuman holds the lost and found department of Lord Nrsimhadev. Like we discussed during Hanuman Jayanti, that Lord Hanuman resides in Golok Dham. He resides in the courtyard of Nand Baba. Similarly, Lord Nrsimhadev also resides in Golok Dham. Lord Nrsimhadev, he is on the door of Nanda Baba as a lion. He is safeguarding that. Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Ganesh is called Vigna Vinashak, Vignaharta. Kayena vacha mansendriyarva karoti yatyat sakalam parasmay narayanayati samarpayetat. Right? So in Ganpati Puja we sing. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Now Lord Ganesh is Vignaharta. But his Ishtadev is Lord Nrsimhadev. So he holds Lord Nrsimhadev in his heart. And Lord Nrsimhadev is called Bhakti Vigna Vinashak. Ganpati Bappa, he is going to give us everything, including Bhakti as well. But his source of power, like here we see there is bulb and everything. This is connected to a transformer, that is the source. So the source of Sarva Karane Karanam of Ganpati Bappa is Lord Nrsimhadev. Hanumanji, when he launched for Lanka, when he had to fly over the Indian Ocean, he actually took blessings of Lord Nrsimhadev. Why? Because he is going to find Bhakti Devi. And who is Bhakti Vigna Vinashak? Nrsimhadev. So this is the connection of Nrsimhadev. Everyone who comes to our temple, the first Aarti we learn is Nrsimha Aarti. Right? Initially, the devotees were scared. Like if you look, it's scary in one sense. Like we don't pay much attention, but it is scary. You have intestine, you have blood, everything. So initially the devotees, the disciples of Prabhupada, they used to hide that photo of Nrsimhadev. And Prabhupada used to get angry. What's happening? Every time I come and the altar is empty. Where is Nrsimhadev? They say, Prabhupada, he's so dangerous looking. The visitors will come and run away. They might even put a case against us. Who are they worshipping? But then he laughed. He said, no. He is very affectionate to his devotees. And you could feel all the devotees. We have special connection with Nrsimhadev. There is this sense of protection that we are protected. And that is by Sri Nrsimhadev. Right? So, this is the first portion from Nrsimha Puran. And the second portion is from Jayadev Goswami, one of the greatest poet. Some people even say that he is the incarnation of Lord Jagannath. Jayadev Goswami, who has written the 10 Avatar Stotra. Pralaya Payodhi Jale Dhritvanasi Vedam. So he has written this 10 Avatar Stotra. Tava kare kamal vare nakhamar buddha shingam. Dalita hiranya kashipu tanu bhingam. Keshavadita narhari rupa. Keshavadita narhari rupa. Jai Jagadish Hare. Jai Jagadish Hare. Okay, so this has been written by Jayadev Goswami. Tava kara kamala vare nakham adbhuta shringam. Dalita hiranya kashipu tanu bhingam. Right? So the story is that he came in Ahobilam. Like I said, it's a place in Andhra Pradesh. And where did he appear from? Pillar. Right? Because this Hiranyakashipu, like let's say I come here and I have seen this place from my childhood, okay? And I have seen this thing from my childhood. And someone comes and says there is a mouse inside of this. I will say, oh come on, please. I have seen this for the last 30-35 years. There is no mouse inside, right? But they say, oh no, I see a mouse inside. I will say no. This is exactly what happened with Hiranyakashipu. So he asked his son Prahlad, where is your Vishnu? Is he here? Yes. Is he here? Yes. Now he was very sure about this pillar in his courtyard, saying that this pillar is not going to betray me. So he asked Prahlad, his son, is your Vishnu in this pillar? Yes, I see him in the pillar. So Nrsimhadev had to come in the pillar for his Bhakt Prahlad. And then he just banged on the pillar and Bhukhandam Varanandam. There is a Nrsimha Shodash Stotra that we will take in next Nrsimha Chaturdashi, but it has the sound of how Lord Nrsimhadev came. Garjantam Garjayantam Niryahuja Patalam Spota Yantam Hatartam. Dipyantam tapayantam divimuviditam shepayantam shipantam. Right? So this is how there was this trembling, roaring sound, and he comes, and everyone was shocked. And then Hiranyakashipu, who was really, really huge actually, but Lord Narasimhadev appeared even taller, and then there was this ferocious war that was going on. Right? Now, when he killed Hiranyakashipu, everyone was happy, but his wife was not happy. Who? Lakshmi Devi. She was not happy. So then Narasimhadev have asked, what happened? Then she said, this is not fair. What is not fair? You came out of the pillar and you killed the poor guy. You did not even give him a chance to explain himself. So then Narasimhadev said, okay, fine. So that is, dear devotees, the first time we got the feedback department. So then Narasimhadev opened a feedback department. Whatever feedback you have, you give the feedback, and Lakshmi ji gave the first feedback. That before killing a demon, ask them, ऐसी क्या दिक्कत हो गई थी? Like what was the reason of, becoming what you became? So he said, okay, he read, and he was a good husband. He acted on it. Next time, when he came as Lord Ramchandra, he was not killing Ravan at all. He was giving Ravan all time. So after that, Mother Sita asked, there was 365 days. You were in front of Ravan and you yet did not kill him. He said, woman, last life you asked me, ask. And I followed. Now I was asking Ravan that even now if you want to give back my wife, I will not kill you. I took your feedback, I acted upon your feedback, but now that time also you blame me, this time also you are blaming me. That is why Lord Brahma said something I'm not going to say now, because I see, you might have understood, but yeah. So that was the feedback that Mother Lakshmi had given. So Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshav is very important word actually. There was one devotee of Lord Shiv who was very much devoted to Lord Shiv, but he used to hate Lord Vishnu. So once he was meditating on Lord Shiv and he asked, my dear Lord, when will I get liberation? Lord Shiv said, you will not get liberation. So he was a bit sad. Why? He said, because you envy Vishnu. Do you even know who Lord Vishnu is? Then he explained. He said, if you have read Sanskrit or Hindi Vyakaran, the first letter is Ka, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Ga, Cha, Cha, Ja, Cha, Ya. Right? So he says the first person of this universe is called Lord Brahmaji, and the first letter is Ka. That is why Lord Brahma is said as Ka. He is also denoted as Ka. I, Lord Shiva, am called Ishwar. Ishwar Uvacha Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulya Rama Nama Varanane. Ishwar. Who is Ishwar? Lord Shiv. So he said Ka Ishwar. If you do Sandhi with Chet, as per Sanskrit grammar rules, Ka and Ish becomes Kesh. Okay? And Va means Vash mein karna, meaning to control. So a personality who can control Ka, Lord Brahma, and Ish, Lord Shiva, is called Keshav. And he is Lord Vishnu. Because you are envying Lord Vishnu, you can never get liberation. He understood, he started worshipping Lord Vishnu, and he got liberated. So Keshava Dhrita Nar Hari Rupa. Nar means human form, and Hari has many meanings. The meaning of Hari is one who Har means who takes all our ahankar, kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsar, all our anarthas. That is called Hari. Keshava Dhrita Nar Hari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. I pray to you, O Lord Narasimhadev. So this is the meaning of Narasimha Aarti. So now we'll just take 5-10 minutes to understand how we are connected, or how Lord Narasimhadev actually saves. So we all know that in an unfortunate event in 2008, 26/11 attack in Mumbai, there was a terrorist attack in Mumbai, right? In Taj Hotel. 31 casualties were there. Many people were killed by the terrorist. There was one devotee, and he was in the army at that time. His name was Nilesh Prabhu. And Nilesh Prabhu was immediately called to tackle the terrorist. And there was a squad of 3 people. So with 3 people, Nilesh Prabhu, he goes to fight. And then these terrorists had the upper hand. They knew the place inside out. And they were hiding in the blind spot. So they had the upper hand and they were fighting and shooting left, right and center. He was just dodging somehow. They were just going to 2nd floor, 3rd floor, coming back and forth. So it was very difficult for them. But after a while, what happened is, this is a true story, 26/11 attack. This is testimony, Hare Krishna. So one of them threw a grenade to have that smoke, and then this Nilesh Prabhu, he could not see anything. And there was constant bombarding of, bullets. So the 3 squad Indian soldiers were there. Both of them, they died. And he was unconscious, but still he was shooting somehow because he thought, I'm just gone, I'm dead now. And before coming there, in his testimony, he said, I had completely surrendered myself to Nrsimhadev, saying that I am going on this war, and I come sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braj, right? I am completely giving myself to you. If you want to keep my body, you keep. If you want me to die, I surrender. This is my last, right? He goes, and after some time, he regains his consciousness. The terrorists are shot down, and then he sees that he's alive. And when he wakes up, to his surprise, he sees that he was behind a pillar. And then there was this instant connection that from the pillar, Nrsimhadev came to save Prahlad Maharaj, and he came again to save this Prabhuji. You see, this is how Nrsimhadev saved. Another story is from our ISKCON Mayapur temple. There was a devotee. He was new to ISKCON, but he was the pujari, and he used to worship Ugra Nrsimhadev. Now, Ugra Nrsimhadev is the ferocious, angry form of Lord Nrsimha, right? So he used to do the puja, but then he would be scared. So once he was sleeping, and in the morning during Mangal Aarti, he saw the bed shaking. So he thought it was bunk bed. He was sleeping up or down. Then he thought maybe devotees are waking up and going. But then he opens his eyes and he sees someone very big, like a lion, is sitting on his chest. And then he started to shout, and he just closed his mouth, say, don't panic, don't panic. I have come here just to tell you that you can continue my worship, but don't get scared. Don't get scared. We are on one team. And then he disappeared. He puts his hand on his shoulders and he disappears. Now this Prabhuji, he lost his mind. If something like that happens to us, we can imagine. He started running here and there, and Mangal Aarti was going on, and he ran, and everyone was looking at him. Why? Because he was only in towel. He had lost his sense, and sometime he goes back and then he narrates everything, that this is what happened, and they said maybe you were dreaming. But then the pujari saw that there was mark of the nail of Lord Nrsimhadev on the shoulders. And this is how they confirm that actually Nrsimhadev came to tell you that don't worry, you can continue even the worship of Ugra Nrsimhadev, because Ugra Nrsimhadev is so powerful that if you do a little mistake, the whole village can be burned. That is why no one wanted to carve our Ugra Nrsimhadev for ISKCON Mayapur. And the person who somehow got the courage to do that, he immediately said, take him back. I can't keep him. He will burn me as well. Right? Because as soon as he's carved, just start with the deity worship. You cannot just have any, But he was so merciful, he said, don't worry. Don't get scared. Once there was a devotee in book distribution, they say that it was in some western part of the world, and they were doing book distribution, and there was one envious person. He was really 6'5" and really well built. Probably he must be a rugby player or football player. And they were envious of the Hare Krishnas. And then there was some back and forth argument, what is this? And then he was very humbly saying that this is Krishna, this is Bhagavad Gita, we are not making profit, we are just propagating our movement, this and that. But he got so offended, the other person, he took him by his collar and lifted with one hand. and with the second he put a fist, and this person thought this is my end. Tava kara kamala vara, he started singing Namaste Narsimhaya. And all of a sudden, true story, he says, there he saw someone 7 foot tall coming and bashing this guy, and he falls to the ground, and then all of a sudden he looks and the other person disappears. And then he says that this is my realization, that was Narsimhadev who came to save his devotee who was on the book distribution movement, right? So Lord Narsimhadev, he actually appears to save his devotees, and also he appears in every form. Once Lord Jagannath, he was in the Raja, the king of Orissa, he started noticing that why is the pujari giving what is it's walnut, akhrod, right? Very, it was like very hard. We had to hammer it. So he became a bit angry at the pujari that, hey, why are you giving that to Jagannath? Jagannath should not be, how will he eat that? So stop from tomorrow. So the next day did not give that hard thing to eat to Jagannath. In the dreams, Lord Jagannath comes, sits on the chest. This is how Jagannath comes generally of the pujaris. Sometimes he slaps, sometimes he shouts, and sometimes he's very calm as well. He says, why did you stop that thing? I enjoyed it as Narsimhadev. So like Jagannath took the Gajabhesh, he became Lord Ganapati for his devotee. Similarly, he used to enjoy that walnut with the teeth, razor sharp teeth of Narsimhadev. So it's not that for us it's Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu also showed his 6-armed form of sannyasi, of Lord Krishna and of Ramchandra. So that is why Nam Akari Bahuda Niji Sarva Shaktis Tattar Pita Niyamita Smarane Nakala. Like all the name that we take, we could chant Lord Jesus, we could chant Allah, we could chant Krishna, different names, Lord Shiva, and they have the potency invested by Lord. Nam Akari Bahuda Niji Sarva Shaktis, right? Because people get, sometimes people say, oh, it's a sectarian, this Hare Krishna movement, and these people must be against the Muslims or the Christians. Prabhupada never said that, no. He said, you just get connected to God. You get connected to Jesus, you get connected to Allah. The point is, you get connected and take the name of your Ishtadev. We are not here to convert you, we are here to transform you. Just to take, like there was an archaeologist, and Prabhupada asked them, the reporter, that what do you do? He said, Swamiji, I study the medieval people. The people from past, I study those. So yes, Swamiji, what do you do? So Swamiji said, I study advanced people. People who have highly developed brain, like Lord Narsimhadev, Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, I study them. So he was never against, there was no propagation that no, my way or highway, no. But you have to take the name that is important. You have to get connected to your God. So all the different forms that we see, they're all the same. But for the devotees, they manifest in different forms for different purposes. Okay? So with that, I'm going to stop. We are way over time. If there is any question, we can take for 5 minutes, and then you have something to share, right? Okay, so is there any question, any comments from today's class? Everyone understood everything or no one understood nothing? Okay, first Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, just a small question. When you mentioned the appearance of Lord Krishna in this specific cycle,
Yeah.
Was it the original Krishna, if I understood correctly,
Yeah.
right? In the cycle we are with?
Yes.
currently, right?
Yeah. So the cycle we are, Krishna only comes Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, Paritranaya Sadhunam, Vinashaya Krishnatam, Dharma Sansthapanarthaya, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. Yuge Yuge means he comes only once in millennium. Now, in 1 millennium, there are 1000 Dwapar Yuga. But he says Yuge Yuge means only once. How is it that? So he only comes once, meaning the original Krishna only comes in the 27th Dwapar Yuga, okay, of the 7th Manvantar where we are. And only when the original Krishna comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes. And only when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, Prabhupada comes. This is how fortunate we are, and this is how close we are to going back to Krishna Lok. In the 28th, the original Krishna from Golok Dham will not come. Avatar of Lord Vishnu will come. That is why they say he is an avatar of Lord Vishnu. Okay? Yes.
Sorry, Krishna Prabhuji, my question is like, did Kuber and Madhukar were Jai and Vijay? Because I heard from someone that they were Jai and Vijay.
No, it was not Kuber and Nal Kuber and Manigriv. Nal Kuber and Manigriv were Madhukant and Snigdhakant. Madhukant and Snigdhakant, they are the poets of Golok Vrindavan Dham. Okay? In the Brihad Bhagavatamrit, we hear this. So, Jai and Vijay took 3 life from there by the curse. That was Hiranyakashipu Hiranyaksha, Dantavakra and Shishupal, Ravan and Kumkaran, and from their own desire they became Jagai and Madai. Okay, these are the only 4 that we know, not Nalkuber and Manigriv. Okay? Yeah, so again, they were poets of Golok Vrindavan Dham. They used to entertain Lord Krishna and Lord Balram during breakfast. So when they are having breakfast, there is this very great feast as per Brihad Bhagavatamrit. And all the Brajvasis, they assemble, and these 2 poets, they have very sarcastic way, and both of them, they tell the story of Nanda Baba, of all the 7 brothers of the Brajvasis and everyone are, they are just laughing and having a good time. This is what we will do when we go back to Bharat. Yeah. Any other?
One question.
Yes.
Do we, we know what is the origin of Lord Brahma and how the goddess Lakshmi was born? So, do we have any reference how, from where did Jai and Vijay came, and why they didn't understand who are these 4 boys?
So, na jayate mrite va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyo ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So there Krishna says in the 20th verse of the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano, meaning that we were always there, Prabhu. There was no birth date. We don't have a birth date. It is just that they appear and manifest. Like Mother Lakshmi, she got the name Lakshmi because there was this churning of the ocean milk, right? And Ami means nectar. Amrit, Ami in Sanskrit, okay? The goal means Laksh. The goal of the churning was Amrit, and she came out as the real goal. That is why she is called Lakshmi. Lakshmi, that is the name. But she is actually eternal. She is residing eternally in Mahavaikuntha Dham. In Vaikuntha Dham is Mahalakshmi or Lakshmi, but just she manifests. So coming back to the question, Jai and Vijay or Chatush Kumar, there is no birth date even to you and I. We don't have a birth date, Prabhu. We were always there. It's just that because of our karma, we get certain bodies, as per Bhagavad Gita. Okay?
So they were already there.
Yes, already there. Yeah, they are eternal in the spiritual world. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
This question is not related to the subject matter discussed today, but I'm just curious, why were all these spiritual souls sent from spiritual world to material world? Like, what actually happened?
Yeah, okay, very good question. Because the 7th verse of the 15th chapter goes, who can tell me the verse? Yes. Sanatana. And the 6th verse? Na shashanko na pavaka. Yes. Yat katva na nivartante tat dhama paramam mama. It means Lord Krishna is saying, one who reaches my abode will never come back. Never. So the question is that how is it possible that Jai and Vijay, who were in that abode, came down? Isn't it?
No, the question was about us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm coming to that. Yeah. So the thing is that sometimes Krishna does some pastimes. Okay? Like there is no question of getting angry in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means a place where you don't have any anxiety or worries. There is no kuntha. Little example. Here everyone is laid back. You see when they are driving, there is no honking. There is no curse words. You go to India, Prabhu, you know the situation. Right? So much of stress, every second minute you will hear some bad word, isn't it? So similarly, in Vaikuntha there is no stress. It's a stress-free world. There is no question of anger, right? So how is it that the Chatush Kumar became angry? It is impossible. So the Acharyas explained this was the will of Lord. This was the will of Lord Vishnu, that he wanted to have a Virya ras. There are 5 basic ras, but 12 in total. One of them is Virya, where you want to fight. So like I said, if you were late, that if I had to fight a mosquito, the people won't buy a ticket to my show, because I will kill like this, right? But if I fight someone, the fight is going to last for 12 rounds, like a boxing match. We will buy a VIP ticket for that. So that is why Lord Vishnu wanted a VIP ticket pass for all of us, so that we could hear or read Srimad Bhagavatam. That is why he did the Leela. Now coming back to us, it is said that since time immemorial, okay, there are 2 worlds, spiritual world and the material world. So, Ekapad and Tripad, Vibhuti, we just read in Srimad Bhagavatam last week. Ekapad means this material world is only 25% of the total creation, and 75% Tripad Vibhuti is the spiritual world, right? Now, since the dawn of creation, Prabhu, all of us were given a choice, either to go to the spiritual world or to the material world. So there are 3 energies. One is external energy, Bahiranga, internal energy, and Tathast, means all of us. Now we have a choice either to go to the Bahiranga, that is here we are, and the Antaranga, or the spiritual world. We all made the choice that we will be here. Why? Because we don't want to follow the rules and regulations. Here, everyone drives in the left side of the road. I go to Spain, they drive on the right side of the road. Now I can't say that I will drive on the left side in Spain. They will put me behind bars, isn't it? Because I'm not obeying the rules. So similarly, because I wasn't obeying the rules, I could not make it to the spiritual world, and we have been residing in the body of Mahavishnu, Karana Dakshaya Vishnu, every time there is a pralay. And then based on our karma, it's like you're playing a video game. I always give this example. You're playing a video game, okay? And then your mother calls you, sandwich is ready, come. You hit a pause button. You go, you eat your sandwich, you come, you hit the resume button, you start playing, right? So this is exactly how our life is. We are in this game, meaning we are in this repeated birth and death, cycle of birth and death. And then Lord Brahma hits a pause button every 12 hours. He goes to sleep. We go inside the body of Mahavishnu. We come out, and then we again begin or resume our journey. We have not made it to the spiritual world yet. Yeah? Yeah. Any other question? Okay, perfect. Yes, Prabhu. इनको माइक दे दो. हरे कृष्णा. I'm going to ask you 2 sets of questions. And the winner of each set of questions will receive. प्रभु जी इधर आ जाइए थोड़ा सा. इधर आ जाइए. बैठेंगे. बैठिए. अच्छा.
I have two Bhagavad Gita to give away, and if the answer that the question I asked is correct, that person will get the Bhagavad Gita. Okay? The first question is, what is the real reason why Lord Jagannath appeared in the dream of Gadadhar Pandita? What's the real reason? That has not been. We had a drama and we had a session before that, but that has not been established. Can anybody give the real reason why he appeared in his dream? You can put your hand up if you know the answer.
Okay.
And,
Motherji wants to speak.
oh yeah. Okay, thank you.
Gadadhar Pandit was so old, so he could not able to perform the puja. He wanted to hire someone who will do the puja of Krishna, but that was not accepted by Krishna. That's why Krishna appeared in this dream and told, okay, I'll make myself in the second position.
Yes. Thank you. That's a correct answer. Thank you.
You are getting to devoting. She will give to anybody. So, Prabhuji,
She can give it to anybody else.
so is there anyone here who doesn't have a Bhagavad Gita copy? This is a free copy to you. Hare Krishna.
Even I don't have.
Okay, we'll second maybe. Should you answer this one then?
Second question. Can you tell me how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared? Can anybody give the answer of how Chaitanya... We have appearance and disappearance day. How did Lord Chaitanya disappear? There are two answers to that question. Can anybody give the answer? I think...
Shama Sakhi
I think he merged with the deities of Jagannath.
He merged in the deities of Jagannath.
Well, the word merge is not right. It's enter. It's enter. What is the second reason? If you get me the second reason, then you will have... Okay, anybody else know the second reason? Mataji? No?
That much I will give.
This Mataji also knows. That told me why I was.
What's the reason? What's the...
One was to enter into Mahadadi and Jagannath Puri, and second was he entered into Ganga and Mayapur.
You want to give to that Mataji?
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for joining us. Now we'll have two important, he will give more directions, but we'll have Gaurati followed by Prasadam and
Hare Krishna. Do we have more people standing outside? Do we have anyone? Okay, no problem. So, first of all, I would like to welcome you all for weekly Sunday Love Feast program. So now we will have Aarti and then Prasad in the restaurant. But before heading towards Aarti, I would like to introduce two young initiated or newly initiated devotees who are among us. One is Chandrasekhar Prabhu, whose legal name is Chaitanya. We knew him with the name of Chaitanya, but his Guru Maharaj gave him new name as Chandrasekhar Das. So Chandrasekhar Prabhu ki jai. We have one more devotee, Prabhuji. Many of us know Prabhuji with the name of Gurmukh Prabhu. So his name was already as Das. His name is Gurmukh Das. But today his name is little bit changed from Guru Mukh to Guru Charan. So Guru Charan Das. His name is Guru Charan Das. So Prabhuji's name is Guru Charan Prabhu. Guru Charan Prabhu ki jai. So these two both are newly initiated. We have two more devotees who are still in India. They will be coming in this week only. Maybe you will get to see them next Sunday. So Giridhari Prabhu and Ramya Sita Mataji. So Giridhar Prabhu and Raman Mataji. So they will maybe come to you and they will ask for some alms or bhiksha. So you can give some, €1, €10, 100,000, 10,000, or maybe anything. Okay, you can give little whatsoever you feel okay. There's no force, no pressure. But
so the reason behind that is that first they have taken a guru. So now you have to show your humility or rather become humble. Now we don't want to beg, right? Because of our ego. So we have to beg so that our ego lowers. A. Second, we have to give something to our guru. Now our guru doesn't want our money or he doesn't want any property. He just wants our bad qualities like our ego to go away. So we are just offering that humility to our guru. So that is the reason. So don't think that we are asking for or they are asking for money. It's just a process that everyone goes.
so now they became officially Das, right? Servant. So until unless we will remove our ego, which makes us boss. So if we want to become dos, so we have to ask. And the thing is, when we go in front of people and ask, so our ego has to come down. Then we can ask, right? Otherwise, we feel like I have everything. Why will I ask? So that's why that is a kind of purification which we get when we do that. So, Prabhuji, do you have any?
Just that I'm just kind of breaking up the set of Bhagavatams, which is again it's another beautiful way in which to worship Krishna is to have his words basically in your home. So we've taken a vow as a yatra to have 30 sets actually, and so we distributed 2 recently. So we're on the way towards distributing 30 sets of Bhagavatams. It's like it's something that everybody can have in their homes, and they can actually have Krishna in their homes. And we're thinking of anyone who gets a Bhagavatam set, we can also guarantee we will come to their home and do a little program as well. So I'll be downstairs. I have the Bhagavatam sets with me, and so it's anyone who's interested, please come over and I can show you the whole stuff.
I have one more announcement, like Prabhuji said about Bhagavatam. So there are 2 type of Bhagavatam, right? One is book Bhagavat and another is Vyakti Bhagavat, the devotees of the Lord. So same way, when we associate with devotees, we get association of Krishna, right? By the words or the wisdom words which comes out of Bhagavatam and other scriptures. So same way, we have Bhagavatam here. So if anyone would like to have Bhagavatam, they can contact us. So on this coming Thursday and Friday, which is 22nd and 23rd, if I am not wrong, 22nd and 23rd, we are hosting a very wonderful and senior Vaishnav from all the way from India. He is the temple president of ISKCON Adilabad, which is in Telangana, and he looks after one of the kitchen in Govardhan Eco Village. He also serves as secretary to His Holiness Radha Nath Maharaj. So he is at very young age, like he is I think 27, if I'm not wrong, 27. But he is very, very famous for his classes and his mood which he shares with everyone, and specifically among youth. So I can see most of us are in our early age. We are less than half of our age, which we will be living, right? So on Thursday from 7 p.m. and on Thursday I think it's 6:30, and Friday from 7 p.m. we will be having his class on very wonderful topics. So everyone is requested to attend that. He is very famous on YouTube as well among Telugu speakers. He will give in English, but he is very famous. He has more than 300,000 or maybe more subscribers on YouTube, because he is very, very famous even on Instagram for his short stories and pastimes on Krishna. So we are very fortunate that we got some time out of his busy schedule to host him here. Please come on Thursday and Friday, both day evening. We will be having prasad as well after that. So don't worry about dinner. We will be having some prasad for you all. Please come and get the blessing, get the mercy, and grow more in devotional life. So now we will have Aarti and then prasad. Before that, if two or three devotees can go in kitchen for some help in cooking, we need some final touch. If only two or three maximum. Rest others please stay here. They need to arrange. Hare Krishna.
जय जय गौरा चंदे आरती को शोभा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र कृष्ण की मूर्ति अभय करना रविंद्र भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की इस्कॉन डिविटी फाउंडर आचार्य सेवक ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र कृष्ण की मूर्ति भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नाम आचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से दो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौर गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रज भूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी भासी गंगा माई यमुना की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की पतित पावन नाम संकीर्तन की श्री श्री पंचतत्व की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समबडी डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समबडी डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू समबडी डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज all glories श्री गुरु श्री गौरांग हरि बोल So we all sit down for the same Aarti, 5 minutes and then we go for prasad. Thank you. जय चलो जय जय चलो प्रेजेंट हाँ so yes thank you sir.
Namaste Radha Sambhaya
शिरोमणि श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की सेवियर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की गीता गौर प्रेमानंदे
गोविंदे कल्पपुल्लवतं राजन् विश्वासोले बधायते शरीरा विद्याजाल
So we have small Kirtan now, but if you want, you can go downstairs for Prashadam. If you have to wait in the queue, then you can join the Kirtan. Okay?